Welcome to the Anxiety Attic, where there's a tremendous storm going on. So if you see any flashes or hear any bangs, don't worry, it's just the British weather. I've made a few videos about all the things that people do or buy to try and beat their anxiety, and how most usually make them worse. Like this one on anxiety survival kits, which I've linked above. But are there any tools that actually help anxiety? Well, today I'm going to talk about two tools that can make a difference to your anxiety recovery. And sadly, very few anxiety videos on YouTube talk about them. Now, please don't skip ahead, because if you miss the next bit, this video will not make any sense, and the tools will seem kind of stupid. To understand why these two tools work, you need to understand what goes on in the brain with anxiety. People with anxiety have a battle going on in their brains. The part of the brain that deals with logic knows that their fear or anxiety is illogical, but the part of the brain that deals with fear is much stronger, so overrules the logical part of the brain. For example, people with OCD know that their obsessions don't make sense, but they can't stop their compulsions to clean or check doors or whatever their OCD drives them to do. People with health anxiety know that Googling symptoms makes their anxiety worse, but the fear of getting ill and dying drives them to keep doing it. People with panic attacks know that panic attacks are harmless, but they still avoid anything that might trigger them and might monitor their heart rate or oxygen levels. So any tools that can beat anxiety need to strengthen the logical part of the brain and weaken the fear processing part of the brain. Before I show you the first tool, make sure you watch to the end, because I'm going to explain how these two tools have to be used together. So the first tool is a pen. Okay, I can tell you're disappointed, but bear with me and I will tell you why this is so important. Thousands of people watch my videos and I get great feedback, but how many people are actually regularly using the CBT tools that I teach in them? Tools like thought challenging records. These tools are designed to strengthen the logical part of your mind to combat anxious thinking. But why is the pen so important? Let's ask Google. If you type "does writing help memory," you'll find some interesting answers, like this one which says the unique, complex spatial and tactile information associated with writing is likely what leads to improved memory. And this one that says taking notes by hand allows you to remember the material better than typing notes on a computer, and this has been demonstrated by a number of studies. So using a pen is more powerful than using a keyboard, and definitely more powerful than doing nothing. I'm not going to go into all the CBT exercises that I teach here, because you will find them in my playlists, which I will show you at the end. But if you keep doing these written exercises, you will strengthen the logical part of the brain, and that will help it in its battle against the anxious part of the brain. But what about the anxious part? How do you weaken that? For that, you need the second tool, which is this. Now I can hear all of the Americans saying, G.I. Joe? But in the UK, this guy is called Action Man, and that is what you need to become. I don't mean you need to become a soldier. You need to be someone who is constantly taking action to reduce your anxiety. And this is because the fear processing part of the brain doesn't learn from written exercises. It learns from the things that you do. That's why my videos teach things like systematic desensitization, behavioral experiments, and reducing safety and reassurance seeking behaviors. These CBT tools will start to rewire the fear processing parts of your brain, which, by the way, are called the amygdala and the hippocampus. But it's no good just watching the videos. You have to do the tasks, and you have to do them regularly over a long period of time. I'm talking months or even years if necessary. There is no quick fix for anxiety, but this stuff does work, and it's backed up by countless research trials and reviews. Now, here is where you link the two tools together. If you have done a behavioural experiment to disprove one of your anxious thoughts, you must pick up your pen and reflect on the experiment. The experiment engaged the fear processing part of your mind, and the writing it down engages the logical part of the mind, so the whole mind learns that the anxious thoughts and feelings are no longer needed. If you are trying to reduce your safety behaviours or reassurance-seeking behaviours, use your pen to keep a record of how often you are using them and how successful you are in reducing them. If you don't write it down, you will find that they just start increasing again, and the anxious mind will get stronger. Writing down your progress and keeping track of your anxiety levels helps motivate you to keep doing it. Now, I've made a lot of videos, so if you would like to start doing these exercises, I will point you to the best videos to start with. For health anxiety, I recommend this video, Stop Health Anxiety in 10 Steps. For panic attacks, watch Panic Attacks, a Complete Series, which is a series of 8 videos. For generalised anxiety disorder, watch What is a Worry Tree and How to Stop Asking for Reassurance. For social anxiety, watch my 6-video self-help series, which starts with this one.